4 years ago, testosterone changed my life. And then about a year later, I made a video about it called Did Testosterone Cure My ADHD? In it, I talked about my experience of being introduced to testosterone treatment, my prior experience of ADHD, and how the beginning of the healing of my low testosterone levels uh, helped elevate me out of a fog that I didn't know I was in with ADHD. I wanted to share this with the world and with y'all, and that video is out there now. And um, I've been seeing questions pop up on it over time. And it having been now almost 3 years since I recorded that video, I thought it might be useful to give an update and share with y'all where things are at with me with regard to my testosterone treatment, how it's gone, how it's continued to impact my life, and what I think anyone going on this journey might want to understand about the path ahead. The journey began in 2022 and I weighed about 460 pounds. Now, that is a lot. Uh, Frankly, far too much. But it was a lot less than where I had started a couple years ago at a high of 600 pounds. I was already well on my way to solving problems in my life and digging myself out of some deep holes. I was trying things, and the testosterone treatment was one of those things I was trying. And when you're in a mode of trying things, one of the things we begin to understand is that the point isn't for every little thing to be the thing. The point is to try enough things so that some of them stick. I was not really expecting this testosterone treatment to stick, to land anything, to change me, but it did. And what it resulted in was a lifting out of an ADHD fog into a sense of feeling like a normal person who had wishes, fears, desires that over time they acted on in participation with their surrounding environment. It sounds simple, but it was the great challenge of my life up until that point. And then after that point, it was no longer a challenge. I wasn't somebody to whom life happened. I was not a victim. I was someone who happened to life, took action. And over the last 3 years since I recorded that previous video, the action has continued. I lost about 100 pounds from the start of a treatment until the time I recorded that video. And then from that video 3 years ago to today, I've lost a little more than another 100. My cumulative total weight loss as of today, sitting here, January 22nd, 2026, is about 360 pounds, down from 600. So I'm still not skinny, but I look like a normal person now. And that has changed everything, combined with my energy, purpose, focus, and direction. So, what did this energy and health liberate in me? I'll just mention a few things that have happened in the intervening few years, share a few comments about how I feel about it, and some thoughts about what maybe you should take away from this exploration of where testosterone treatment has led me over 4 years. One of the cool things that happened was when I recorded that video in 2023, I was between jobs. I was about 4 months into a period of unemployment that ended up taking about eight. And it didn't end until I had a recognition, a new awareness that dawned on me, and action that followed from it. That awareness was an understanding that after applying to over 500 jobs and not finding one, that I had been putting on a show this whole time out of a sense of fear and need and a requirement for approval and uh, to resolve my sense of joblessness and anxiety. I was putting on a show and trying to be the person I thought was wanted instead of sitting inside of here, understanding what was within it and bringing it out in a way that the world could understand and choose to engage with. I made that turn. I stopped putting on a show, started being real, and within about 3 weeks, I had two job offers. Took one. After that, busy year. Not long after that was my 10th wedding anniversary. And on that day, I sat down with my wife at the time and we had a difficult talk. Mutually recognized it was time for us to end things. And over the course of the next 6 months, we divorced. I didn't know I was going to share this. So I want to be choosy about what I say. The reason I bring it up is because being married to someone for 10 years is a serious commitment. And over the course of 10 years, both people changed tremendously. There's no hanging on to who you were. You can't do it. And because of the work that I was doing and had done, going from a person who was a victim in life to being a person who was taking action in life, as I went, I began to develop a sense of what I wanted my life to add up to, a sense of legacy, direction, purpose, what I wanted things around me to look like when I was on my bed in my final moments. And an exploration of that ultimate life thread brought to me a realization that's one of probably the most difficult realization of my life, that the person to whom I was married was not compatible with the life that I wanted. I was blessed and graced to have that happen with someone kind and resourceful and proactive enough to understand, to love, and to help grow us both through a difficult change into lives that were each better for both of us. And over the course of the next year, we went from being long-term roommates to being um, divorced from each other and living separate lives. And what that did was it put me out into the world alone for the very first time. And when I first moved into my own place, it was the first place I'd ever lived in on my own in my whole life. Um, I remember I arrived there and I felt a profound sense of loneliness because I just put in all this effort to extricate myself from my previous life, to put myself on a path towards the life that I felt that I wanted. And I had asked so much from the world and from the people around me to make it happen. And where I had arrived to, alone in an empty apartment, felt like it's hard to explain the purgative sense of the emptiness of that place on that day. I understood the shape of the life that I wanted, and I sensed the person with whom I would want to share that with. And in my heart, I gave myself a decade to find her, also permitting that perhaps I never would. I detached myself from the idea of immediately jumping into the life that I wanted and resolved to accept that I was alone and to embrace that and own it and be it. But I'd started dancing. The year before that, I got into barbershop. The following year, I said, okay, I need a new hobby that's physical because of health limitations. I couldn't lift. I'll explain that if you're interested. But I knew I wanted to do something physical. So I found folk dance, contra dancing. Oh, beautiful, wonderful, joyous, luminous. And beginning to dance, I found the person that I'd resolved to spend the next 10 years searching for within about 10 days. And we quickly began to explore that possibility together. About a year after that, a year ago from today, we moved in together. I proposed. We married, launched into this new life together. Now, just a week ago, I lost my job, sold my car, and we're about to move again into a new place that's a better situation for us. And I feel fantastic. Life is full of uncertainty, but I'm more certain than ever that I'm in the center of it. I have a built, proven confidence in my ability to weather a problem and turn it into something good, not just for me, but for the people around me. I have an understanding of myself wrought in repetition where I know when something is not good inside, what I can do about it, and I can get myself right. And I can do it in a way that doesn't compromise the way I show up to my community, to my wife. I started singing a cappella again. I made an a cappella group. Meant to mention that, forgot it. And like I mentioned through all this, I lost 360 pounds. So that's an answer. 4 years after I started testosterone, I have a new life. I have goals. I have purpose. I have focus and direction and energy and the health to pursue them. I am myself in a way that I never knew that I could be. And over time, I find that I have become a person who I actually like. And maybe in time, I'll become a person who I actually love. I don't know if testosterone treatment could be an answer for you. I truly don't. But I know that there are 1,000 ways our lives and our health can go wrong, and probably just a handful of good ones. And the only way to find them is to look. So if you're a man, you're low energy, maybe you feel like you have ADHD. Yes, first off, if you feel like you have ADHD, go get tested for ADHD. That's the first thing. I should mention that. There are great medications that people for ADHD, if you tolerate them, that will almost solve that problem. So get that checked. I don't even wish to recommend testosterone to you, if I'm honest. My only goal from this discussion was to share the story of this remarkable transformation that I've been blessed to be in the middle of. And I'm very excited to find out where else it'll take me. I think that answers the question. Well, my friends, thank you for being on this journey with me. And may these words find you at peace. Set you on the path to glory. God bless.